So Young Labour has published an open letter urging the government to follow Australia's lead and stop American Candace Owens from entering the country. The Conservative political commentator has caused controversy with her views, questioning the Holocaust, although she says she's not a Holocaust denier, criticising feminism, the Black Lives Matter movement and trans people. She has more than 18 million followers on social media and a history of making controversial claims, but she's also been on the platform quite a few times actually with Sean. Sean had agreed to be part of her speech in Auckland next month. Now, Candace was expected to continue to Australia. However, Australia's Immigration Minister Tony Burke said the country's national interest would be best served with Owens somewhere else, as she could, and I quote, incite discord in almost every direction. The Free Speech Union has called that decision a foolish choice and will only draw more attention to Owens' claims and her personality. Dane Giraud, council member of the Free Speech Union, now joins me. Dane, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Dane, are you surprised with Australia's move to deny Candace entry to the country?
I'm not surprised by anything when it comes to censorship at the moment, and we should count ourselves very lucky. I think New Zealand is still a little bit of an outpost, along with the United States. No, Australia has been on a bit of a downward spiral for a while, and this is another pointless exercise, just really a muscle flex or something. I don't know. It's not going to silence her. She's online. No. There are, like, as you said, 18 million followers or something. It's very symbolic. So I just really don't get the point to this.
Dane, you believe it's far better for society when all ideas are out in the open, correct?
I do think that. These are learning opportunities. Now, I don't agree with a lot of what she says. I wouldn't call myself right-wing at all. My personal politics, I'm in the Jewish community, so the Holocaust stuff has resonance with me. But we're working through a period at the moment now where anti-Semitism is higher than it has been for quite a while. We're all feeling it in the community. But Holocaust education is struggling a little bit. Now, there are some great people working in that space, but we need to take opportunities like this as learning opportunities. I think in Western democracies, nothing is ever really settled. I think people seem to think things become settled and we all move on. No. What that actually does is make us very complacent. And I think the history of the Holocaust is slipping away from us. So when people like this turn up, you know, our swords need to be sharp. we need to be taking them on. We need to be making sure we have the facts and challenging them. These are learning opportunities.
I like the way you've said that, because I mean, we've all got, this is why, you know, what happened with Posey Parker and last year, and everyone, to me, we've got the right to choose, right, to listen to which voices we want to listen to. The people make the choice to listen to the platform or go somewhere else. And by censoring people, if you don't agree with their opinions, aren't you giving them actually more fuel, because people now want to know what all the fuss is about?
Well, there is a lot of that. Yeah, that does happen. I will say that on X just the other day, the reason why I discovered what had happened before we released our statement and everything, a young Australian man had retweeted or reposted now, not Twitter anymore. He reposted that, oh, look, Jews are 0.4 of our population and they've managed to cancel Candace Owens. Like, what a travesty that this little group has all this influence. So is that creating more harm? Is that making us safer? I mean, he viewed it as a provocation, clearly. You know, like, he thinks now that we are trying to silence people like him and people like Candace. So it's only just throwing fuel on the fire. It doesn't make, censorship doesn't address racism. And I think this is a quote you would have heard probably a few times now, but Jonathan Rauch, who came out here with the Free Speech Union about a year ago or just under. He said censorship is like trying to attack climate change by breaking all the thermometers. And that's exactly what this is.
Yeah. So the Australian immigration minister believes that they turned down her visa, saying that it will incite discord in almost every direction. To me, that is not. I didn't hear, there's going to be riots in the street or she's inciting hate. Incite discord seems such a light, so what? They've disagreed. Do you feel that? Because people have asked, how far is it go into hate speech? What do you consider hate speech?
Well, I consider plenty of things hate speech, but I don't. But I believe hate speech is a part of free speech. I think it can be extremely subjective. It's almost near impossible to define it. I mean, the irony of Young Labour, for instance, is that only last week or the week before, a Labour MP, a senior Labour MP, Damien O'Connor, was reposting some truly vile anti-Semitic websites, right? Twitter accounts or X accounts. He was retweeting them. Chris Hipkins really didn't do much about it. This is the party of the hate speech laws.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Again, who decides? Like, what is hate and what is not? I mean, the Young Labour people would probably defend him, but I know lots of people in the community were really upset by that. So what is it? This is political. This is, they view Candace Owens as someone that their base would get excited about them flexing against, I think. But, they've got problems within their own party. But, of course, whoever holds the power decides what is hateful and what is not. And when that happens, equality and democracy get violated. That's why you need to have that open field.
Exactly. Do you think that because, when will she now, have you heard anything from, Erica Stanford, to my knowledge, has not responded to, these requests. If she doesn't go to Australia, what's the point in even coming to New Zealand, I wonder?
Yeah, we're sort of a bit small, and I don't know if it would be financially viable for her, So that is a bit tough. We've missed out on a lot of really awesome rock concerts that way. Like Kiss go to Australia all the time. They never come here. really
I've seen them, Dane. See them once. See them. I'm
jealous. No, but no. I mean that could be the case. But do you know what's going to happen? She's going to rant and rail about it. Like her 18 million followers are going to hear about how she was suppressed and who suppressed her. Who knows? I mean, she may accuse us. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, I hope she does come. I was, looking forward. As you know, she's been on the platform a few times, and Sean Plunket was going to be not part of it, but he was going to kind of open the speech of her and get to have a more in-depth interview. So I was, hopefully I was hoping to get along and have a look as well. So the likes of, Candace and as I said, Posey Parker, and then we go further back to other so-called controversial people that come to New Zealand. I mean, in your role in free union speech, Dane, how do you, if somebody comes up to you and really just can't understand how you think it's people that are seen as this controversial, how do you explain to them it is a good thing for them to come to New Zealand so that we can at least get their side of the story? How do you explain it to them?
Well, I noticed there was a message on my Instagram today with a guy saying, "I don't support Nazis, you support Nazis." The thing about free speech is it's actually a very neutral. It's a principle. You're not backing the speech of one person or the other. I mean, a really good example of this was that makes this clear, I think, is the first case we took on that really set up the union, which was Stefan Molyneux and Lauren Southern.
Yes.
In the Auckland, in Auckland councils, they wanted to use a venue there. Now, this was about neutrality of these spaces. Once you normalize cancelling one group, you can normalize cancelling any group.